when we should start the show, the power went off, and the generator too.
Okay, so when we should start the show, that sounds a bit. Let's talk about Maria Becerra's English. How good is her English? I will assess her English skills and I will tell you what she's doing well and what are the areas where she could improve on her English fluency. As a note too, I'm also Argentinian, so I feel like if anyone can put themselves in her shoes, is a person like me. You know, I share the same cultural background. But anyway, let's take a look and I'll play some clips from this interview. But before I do that, I do want to clarify that as I point out the things that she's doing well and the things where the areas where she could improve a little bit, it's not coming from a place of unfair criticism or perfectionism or anything like that. I do want to emphasize that I celebrate that she is courageous enough to speak English and to do it in a context where there are so many high stakes and she's being watched by millions of people. So it's absolutely awesome that she is doing this and she's getting out of her comfort zone and not just doing Spanish spoken interviews. So it's always coming from a place of growth. In any case, I'll play some of those clips and I'll say the things that I noticed she's doing really well and the things where she could improve. So I'll play you a short clip from the beginning now.
So cute. I love and your songs. I love everything. You're so cute.
Thank you so much.
I talk very fast. I'm gonna try and not.
Please.
So first thing that really stands out to me is that Kelly Clarkson here, the host of this TV show, she's actually using really advanced terms and vocabulary. Maria here apparently doesn't have any issues understanding, comprehending what Kelly is telling her.
Yes.
I'm learning English, I promise, but I will try, but
I will be so chill.
Okay.
Usually my vibe is like, so I'm gonna slow it down.
Okay.
What was it like to perform and sell out? You were performing and selling out that huge stadium, River Stadium. It's enormous.
Yes. It's huge. It was wow. It was
I really like how she conveyed the idea that this was an exciting and significant event. And I'm not talking about her word choice here necessarily. Sometimes words can be a barrier to us expressing something in a way that's true to ourselves. And so the words that we use are less important and we don't mind being a bit clumsy or disorganized with our words. What I mean here is when she starts speaking basically and she says 3 yeses. Yes.
It's enormous.
Yes. It's huge. It was wow.
So I thought she started with the right energy and from an authentic place. I think she did a good job conveying this sense of excitement. So I'm not really focusing on the words that she chose here. I'm talking about the body language and the tone and the excitement in her voice. Great job so far, and this is a great place to start the conversation for her as an interviewee, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she starts putting her sentences together next. Let's play the next bit.
Wow, it was a big experience. I think the most important experience in my whole life.
Yeah.
It was so stressful too.
Yeah.
A little thing here though that I just noticed. She said it was a big experience. I think the most important experience in my whole life. We typically use of when we talk about, like, for example, in this sentence, the most important experience of my whole life, right? Of instead of in. But as the focus of this video is to talk about how good her English or fluency is perceived to be, we need to point out a few things about the way she pronounces each sound in this sentence. Let's play that bit again.
Big experience. I think the most important experience in my whole life.
Yeah.
Again, so this is pretty clear. Are you being intelligible? Meaning, can you pronounce words in a way that others can understand? Intelligibility is the most important thing. Once you master that aspect of pronunciation, there are other ways in which you can fine-tune, polish the way that you sound. There might be an accent that you want to adopt. Of course, this is a big topic. People will say that there are many different accents and you can't choose one. I see that Maria here is going for an American accent. She's been spending time in the US, and so naturally that's kind of like the target that she wants to adopt. And again, as an Argentinian, I understand the challenges that she might be facing. She overpronounced the T's here. Let's play it again. I actually want to listen to it one more time.
Big experience, I think the most important experience in my whole life.
So yeah, I do hear an overpronunciation of the sound of the T in most, and it kind of like makes her slow down her sentence because she just wants to really pronounce that T when it's not really all that necessary. So the way that I'd say this, again, there's not right or wrong. It's just a preferred way to pronounce words and sounds and what most other people are doing, especially native English speakers. The way that I'd say this is, I think the most important experience of my whole life. And then the pronunciation of the word whole, I can't really pinpoint exactly without really like stopping and really looking deep into the articulation of the word whole, but it needs a little bit more fluidity. It needs to flow off the tongue a little bit more freely. I think she stopped and again overpronounced a couple of sounds here. So the way that I'd say this is, it was a big experience. I think the most important experience of my whole life. But so far, Maria is doing a fantastic job. Hey there, just a quick pause on the video here. I just wanted to let you know that I've just finished a 3-part training on confidence building for English speakers. And there's a link in the description of the video where you can access this 3-part training, and it's completely free and it's super insightful. And there you are going to find out about the key actions of confidence, because remember, actions of confidence come first, the feelings of confidence come later. So once you learn about these key actions of confidence, you are going to be able to tap into your most confident and fluent self in English. So if you want to join this movement of speaking English fluently and confident and in our most capable way of doing it, do that now. And also, while you're at it, like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss future videos that I'm going to be publishing in the coming weeks. And also you're gonna be able to catch up on all the videos that I've already published. So do that, and yeah, continue enjoying the video now. Let's keep watching.
It was so stressful too.
Yeah.
But because the 2 days we have problems, like serious problems.
Now, I like that she used the word stressful here, and I'm already getting a sense of what her level is. She's somewhere between B1 and B2, probably closer to B2 than to B1. I also like the way that, where she's going with the idea here. Like, it was an important event and an exciting one on the one hand, but on the other, it was also pretty stressful. I just like the way that she's painting the picture here for us. Sometimes it's more about the words that we use. It's about the story that we're telling, and she is being effective in the way that she's narrating something here. So far, so good. But as she goes on to explain the stressful part, the sentence,
because the 2 days we have problems, like
she should have used the past tense here. We had problems, right? But there's also some problems with the phrasing here. The 2 days we have problems. One correct way to say this is, we had some problems during the first 2 days. We had in the past some problems during the first 2 days. Other ways to say this: we had some challenges during the first 2 days. We ran into some difficulties on the first couple of days. We experienced a few hiccups at the start. Let's play and watch the next thing.
The first day we start 2 hours late the show.
Okay, so she's using the right words, but she just needs to work a little bit on the way that she phrases things, on how she structures her sentences, basically her grammar. It's not a big deal here. She says, the first day we start 2 hours late, comma, the show. Again, start should have been in the past. I would say on the first day, we started the show 2 hours late. The main issue here is the tense. She's talking about something that happened in the past, and therefore she needs to use the past for that. So on the first day, we started the show 2 hours late.
It was so rainy, like too much water everywhere.
Yeah.
So when we should start the show, the power went off, and the generator too.
Okay, so when we should start the show, that sounds a bit odd. The power went off. When you talk about the power, you want to say instead of go off, consider saying go out. It's not like the power went off is outright wrong, but go out is a lot more common. So when we were about to start the show, instead of when we should start the show, the power went out. The use of the word should here is a bit odd. I think what she wants to convey is this idea of they were scheduled to start the show at a certain time. So the time when they should have started the show, because of these problems, they couldn't. So that's why I think she used the word should. We were scheduled to start the show at this certain time, but because the power went out, we had to start 2 hours later. Let's keep watching.
Yes, and I was crying behind the screen. Like, no, this is the most important show in my life. And this happened to me right now. I can't believe it. I was crying and in panic.
So again, she's doing a great job at telling a story. She's doing well. I was crying behind the screen, I think grammar-wise, that's okay. Then she says like, no, this is the most important show in my life. And this happens to me right now. I would just say that, and this is happening to me right now in a different tense. This happens to me. This is happening to me, present continuous or present progressive here. And she says, I can't believe it. That's okay. Then she says,
and the people was like, yes, you can, like the first half hour.
And the people was like, people were like, so we use, it's people is plural. So people were like, or people were saying this and that. And then the people, people is one of those nouns that doesn't take a the article unless you need to specify what group of people you're referring to. So sometimes it's okay to say the people. Most times you'll just need to say people without the. And when in doubt, don't say the, just say people. Just to give you an example, people were patient. People were just waiting for the power to come back on. However, the people at the front, the people at the front. So right now, what I'm doing is using the before people because I'm now specifically referring to the subgroup of people that were at the front. So for the whole stadium, we just say people in the stadium. But when we refer to specifically the people at the front, well, we say the people. So people in general were patient. However, the people at the front, closer to the stage, they were shouting and impatient, and they wanted the show to start once and for all.
I was crying and in panic, and the people was like, yes, you can, like the first half hour.
Again, I want to emphasize now that she's fully utilizing body language, and she's doing a great job at doing that together with telling a story. You can see here in the moment I paused, her cheeky smile, and she has an understanding of comedic timing, right? Because she's going to stop here and she's going to give the audience this moment of pause for them to react to it and to laugh. And then she resumes talking about it, and here she goes.
The first,
and then it gets ugly.
And then it was like, you, like, Michelle, I never know. I was
Like, it's not me.
No, it's
Yeah.
not my fault.
Yeah.
And then, well, it passed 2 hours.
So again, just the phrasing here, past 2 hours, it's just the other way around. 2 hours passed, and then this happened.
The first,
And then it gets ugly.
And then it was like, you, like, Michelle, I don't know.
So I'll tell you this. I've watched up to now 3 different instances where she was interviewed or took part in conversations in English. In 2 of those 3 different interviews or conversations, she said the F word.
That song is nominated for Song of the Year. So
Some of the biggest awards tonight.
yes, so fuck, I can't believe it. I'm sorry. And then
There's nothing wrong with saying that if that's what you really want to say. But what this is showing to me right now is that I think that she just lacks an understanding of all the different options that she has at her disposal to intensify what she's trying to say without going for the extreme use of the word, the F word, right? And she, for example, could say people were like, screw you, or like instead of saying what the fuck, she could say what the heck or what in the world instead of saying what the is that, right? What in the world? And there are different ways to communicate something without always having to just go to the F word. There are more options. And if you have all the options and you still go for the F word, well, that's fully intentional. But I think that she just knows she can use the F word and intensify what she's trying to say, but she's just overlooking, or maybe she just doesn't know that there are other options to say something more strongly or with more emphasis without having to always resort to the F word.
And the second day, the fireworks explode.
Well, that's what they do, though. What?
No, but
Wait, what?
but in the truck, inside the truck.
Here's a funny moment where Maria doesn't fully wrap up her sentence fast enough, and she doesn't explain the situation. Because if you say the fireworks explode, of course you're gonna be like, duh, that's what they do. She just failed to say that the fireworks exploded in the truck fast enough, and so that left Kelly thinking, that's what they do, right? And that made for actually like a great joke or humorous moment. But even if Maria had said that the fireworks exploded in the truck, a better way to say this is, rather than the word explode, the fireworks went off inside the truck. So again, went off or go off. She used that to say that the power went off earlier in the interview. This is the same phrasal verb, to go off, but it makes more sense to say when the fireworks went off, or a bomb goes off, or even an alarm goes off.
Yes.
Wow, was there a fire?
Yes.
Oh.
Nobody get injured. Like
Okay, that's
like,
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
God was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this, but not this.
Yeah.
So God was good in that sense. Yes.
So Maria is being humorous here, and she is, again, doing a great job so far. I do think, however, that the way that she told this joke, God was like, I'm going to do this and this, but not this. I thought that was kind of like lazy, the way that she said that. What she means here, in case you're not getting what she means, is that God, like, this all-powerful being, he planned a really chaotic day for Maria, added rain and cut the power and set off the fireworks in the truck. And so it made it really difficult for Maria to make it through the day. But this God didn't want to go all the way out and actually injure someone, so he held back. And this is what she means by God was like, I'm gonna do this, that is, make it a rainy day and cut the power and set off the fireworks. But when it comes to injuring people, that's where I'm gonna draw the line, and I'm not gonna go so far. And so I think this shows to me that Maria's vocabulary is a bit limited, and it prevents her from saying this in a more precise and with more varied language.
But But yes, it was so stressful.
Oh.
But it was amazing. Incredible. Yes.
And here's again her brilliant body language. She goes, it was stressful, but amazing in the way that she gesticulates with her hands and her facial gestures as well. She's nailing this, and this is one of her biggest strengths in the way that she communicates.
You seem like you come from a very strong mama, though. So your mama gave you advice, right? That has kind of stuck with you?
Yes.
What is that?
Never depend on a man.
Okay. Already nice.
That's true. That's true. Yes, because I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. And when my mom get pregnant and have her first child, she like left all her dreams like in a hole.
She put it to the side.
Kelly, the host, kind of helped Maria express this idea that her mother put all her dreams in the side, which would be the correct way to say what Maria meant here by she left all her dreams in a hole. That's not an idiomatic expression or anything. She probably made that up right there. But this comes from the necessity to say something, but you don't have the words. So sometimes you're going to just invent words and even expressions like right here, to leave all your dreams in a hole. Like that doesn't exist. So I think Maria's got really strong foundational skills, but she's just missing more experience and more just time practicing. Because I think when she gets an abundance of time and experience using the language and being involved in conversations and basically just speaking it a lot, she'll become more comfortable using idiomatic expressions and will be able to be more precise. So as a conclusion, Maria has, as I just said, really strong foundational skills that she can evolve on and build upon. It seems to me that even though she's traveling a lot to countries where they don't speak Spanish as the first language, she hasn't still had the opportunity to accumulate a lot of practice time and, being in situations where she's using her English at the edge of her zone of comfort. I'm sure that if she continues to grow, she's going to look back at this interview 1 year from now or 2 years from now, and she's going to notice how far she's come ever since this interview. I think she's doing really well considering the amount of practice time that she probably has gotten so far. That said, what I'm considering here is that she's only 25 years old. English is probably not her number 1 priority. I think her artistic life and songwriting and performing and all those things that come with the life of a performer like she is, that takes precedent. And English is one of a very important skill, but it's not her number 1 priority. And now again, to kind of go over the list of strengths in her English fluency, the thing that stands out the most to me is her confidence and engagement. She's really funny and she's great at telling a story. She did fantastic. I think I would rate her story telling 10 out of 10. She's great with that. And also with her comedic timing, she will pause at the right time to let a joke sink in or a punchline to kind of hit. And then she'll go on continuing with the joke. I think Maria has really strong listening comprehension skills. In the beginning, Kelly asked a question and used a lot of really advanced vocabulary, just like as any native English speaker would use. And Maria understood what she meant perfectly. Another strength that Maria possesses is that she's really expressive and animated. She uses facial expressions and humor and gestures to communicate effectively, which is especially useful if your vocabulary is a bit limited. You can make up for a lot of those gaps in your vocabulary with body language and just letting your whole self and your full confidence and expression make up for the fact that maybe your grammar isn't perfect. I've said this before, confidence beats grammar every day of the week, and she's got a lot of confidence, and that's amazing. As for areas of improvement, obviously, well, there's grammar and syntax. For example, saying the people instead of the more generic people, just people without the article the. And also people is plural, so people was like is wrong and it should be people were like. There's another part where she said women's instead of women. And so one specific area for her to focus on or to just gain more experience in is the plurals of English. Of course, she would also benefit from just exposing herself to English as much as possible so that she can grow her vocabulary base and use more varied language and not always resorting sometimes to the F word if she wants to intensify the meaning of something. All right, there you go, folks. I hope that you found this video interesting and useful and you took some lessons off of my analysis of Maria Becerra's English. I'm already thinking about 2 other Argentinian celebrities, in this case sport people, that could be good subjects for me to analyze their English in a video like this one. If you have anyone in mind, someone that is a non-native English speaker who has gone on interviews like this one and you think they make for a good English fluency audit video like this one, let me know in the comments. And as always, keep learning, keep growing, keep living your English, and until next time.